Boston, tens of thousands of demonstrators, encouraged and scared by the ejection of deadly viciousness in Virginia a weekend ago, surged into the country's roads and stops on Saturday to reprimand prejudice, racial oppression and Nazism. Exhibitions were uproarious, however extensively quiet, even as strain and stress coursed through dissents from Boston Common, the country's most seasoned open stop, to Hot Springs, Arkansas, and to the scaffolds that cross the Willamette River in Portland, or. Different mobilizes played out in Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, Memphis, and New Orleans, among different urban communities. The shows, which attracted 40,000 individuals Boston alone, as indicated by police gauges, came 1 week following a 32-year-old lady passed on in the midst of conflicts between white patriots and counter-protesters in Charlottesville, Virginia, and they unfurled as the country was again going up against inquiries concerning race, viciousness and the remaining of Confederate images. President Trump, who has confronted enduring, and bipartisan, feedback in the wake of saying that there was fault on the two sides in Charlottesville, tweeted Saturday that he needed to acclaim the numerous protesters in Boston who are standing up against bias and despise. Our nation will soon meet up as one. He additionally stated, "Our incredible nation has been separated for quite a long time. In some cases you require dissent keeping in mind the end goal to mend, and we will recuperate, and be more grounded than at any other time." Keep perusing the primary story. Add. Keep perusing the primary story. It was a sudden move in tone. The president posted before Saturday that it showed up there were numerous against police instigators in Boston. Law requirement authorities were on alarm for the duration of the day, careful about being viewed as faltering and ineffectual after the challenges in Virginia moved toward running road fights and turned deadly when somebody drove an auto through a group. Officers in revolt adapt in some cases went head-to-head with demonstrators to look after request. There were scattered fights and captures. In Boston, sign of the biggest of the end of the week's dissents, the police said there had been 33 captures, for the most part including charges of messy lead. Boston, where authorities had vowed to authorize a strategy of zero resistance for brutality, had been confronting dueling shows, yet a rally to advance free discourse was brief and unamplified past the little bandstand where it was held. The occasion, whose members seemed to number just in the handfuls, was undermined by police arranging and starved by a gigantic support zone between the modest bunch of dissenters and the mind-boggling quantities of their adversaries. Coordinators of the discourse rally had said they were speaking to libertarians, preservationists, traditionalists, established liberals, Trump supporters or any other person who makes the most of their entitlement to free discourse. Every one of us here, from various perspectives, are genuine loyalists in light of the fact that, disregarding that commotion out there, we're here to go to bat for something extremely principled, which is called free discourse. Shiva Idrai, a business person who is running a long-shot Republican Senate crusade, told the rally-goers, as per a video posted on YouTube. In any case, a huge number of others, expecting that the free discourse occasion would be a stage for neo-Nazis and white patriots, joined a strong counter-protest. This city has a past filled with battling back against mistreatment, regardless of whether it's dumping tea in the harbor or a group of fellows remaining around with bandanas shouting at neo-Nazis, said a 21-year-old dissident who recognized himself just as cold and wore an American banner to cloud a lot of his face. Some counter-protesters yelled down their adversaries, "No Nazis! No KKK! No Rightist USA," as state troopers utilized their bicycles to keep matched demonstrators separated. "We didn't need for what occurred in Virginia to occur here," William B. Evans, Boston's police magistrate, said at a news meeting after Saturday's fundamental challenges. "We didn't need them at each other's throats." The Free Discourse rally, which had been booked to keep running from 12 until 2 p.m., finished up by around 12:50 p.m. Mr. Evans, who said the occasion finished right on time by shared understanding between the experts and the occasion's coordinators, said the police had helped the demonstrators get into police wagons as a component of a prearranged leave methodology. "It was at that point," he stated, "that we had a few children hinder the road. It got somewhat fierce, yet they were given each chance to move. "We needed to do a bit of pushing and pushing there," said Mr. Evans, whose division revealed that a few people pelted officers with rocks and that a few demonstrators tossed jugs of pee at officers. Rhonda Brooks, 36, who said he had gone from Detroit for the counter-demonstration, said he was satisfied to see the early end of the Free Discourse rally in the midst of the vast number of counter-protesters. "It's a decent search for America all in all," he said. In any case, another man, who said he bolstered the discourse rally and gave his name, after some faltering, as Matt Staley, contributed to inquire as to whether those showing in help of free discourse were not Americans, as well. "I believe unfortunately individuals can't stand up to express sentiments," Mr. Staley said. The counter-protesters slid on the common hours previously the rally and discovered flyers indicating racial oppressor and neo-Nazi images. The pamphlets, which different counter-protesters seemed to have arranged, encouraged individuals to figure out how to recognize these images and let anybody showing them realize that they are not welcome in our city. "Charlottesville is the thing that constrained me around here," said Rose Fowler, 68, a resigned educator who is dark and was among the general population who had assembled to walk from Roxbury toward the Common, around 2 miles away. "Some person murdered for battling for me. What isn't right with me in the event that I can't battle for myself as well as other people?" In spite of the fact that the challenges in Boston were relied upon to be the end of the week's biggest, individuals accumulated on Friday evening in Portland for an obscuration hate rally. The Oregon challenge swelled to more than 1,000 individuals, and demonstrators swarmed 2 of Portland's extensions, ending movement in the 2 headings and droning, "Whose scaffold? Our scaffold." In Arkansas, a little showing supporting Confederate images drew around 50 individuals in Hot Springs. Rivals strolled by once in a while, reproving Mr. Trump and racial scorn. No less than 3 individuals were captured. What's more, along a side road in Charlottesville, the mindset was solemn around 1:30 p.m. as individuals denoted the time 7 days sooner when a man drove his auto into a group, killing Heather D. Heyer. Miss Heyer's mom, Susan Bro, remained before a dedication of blooms and candles, sobbing as she inclined toward her better half, Kim Bro. Many individuals assembled around as somebody composed with purple chalk, Miss Heyer's most loved shading, on the asphalt, "I miss you child young lady, adore mother." Miss Brother in the long run urged individuals to come nearer to her. A few people laid hands on her, and they sang "This Little Light of Mine." Miss Brother said she trusted that some great could leave her little girls passing. Also, for the individuals who may revel in observing her lament, she stated, "Karma's a, guess what?" Law implementation authorities made broad arrangements for the exhibits in the wake of the Virginia Gore. In Dallas, where a shooter killed 5 cops who were ensuring a challenge in July 2016, the specialists shaped a blockade around Saturday's exhibit site with transports and dump trucks to secure the range and shield any autos from drawing excessively close. As dusk drew nearer at the Confederate landmark in the city, individuals occupied with yelling matches, however no viciousness, while state troopers stood monitor and helicopters flew overhead. As the rally outside City Hall was slowing down, strains elevated at the Confederate landmark at a recreation center adjacent. Yelling matches emitted between dissidents wearing bandanas over their appearances and a gathering of counter-protesters wearing Confederate belt clasps and banners. Water bottles were tossed at cops on horseback, and water and what seemed, by all accounts, to be pee were showered on the Confederate supporters. One landmark supporter, wearing a red "Make America Great Again" top, declined to give his genuine name however recognized himself as Wiggs, a 32-year-old Dallas inhabitant. "Keep perusing the principal story. They can call it a hostile to racial oppressor rally all they need," he said. "I don't trust it is. I believe it's an against Trump rally. Furthermore, that is the reason I'm here. I'm a Trump supporter, and I'm not a racial oppressor by any stretch of the imagination." Prior to the Dallas dissents started, a few men and ladies equipped with powerful rifles and wearing military uniform gathered close to a rally site. A delegate of the gathering, called the Texas Elite 3%, said they wanted to give security at the rally and were not subsidiary with either side. With Charlottesville and how things went down there, and what we've heard so far intel-wise, we are expecting conceivable issues, said the agent, who declined to give her genuine name and recognized herself as Mama Doc. The Boston specialists appeared to confront nothing of that sort on Saturday, however they cleared the common of merchants and their trucks and closed down the Swan Boats, a close-by vacation spot. Pressures here had been rising all week. On Monday night, a young person tossed a stone at the New England Holocaust Memorial, shattering the glass. Passers-by immediately handled the adolescent before the police arrived. In any case, somewhere else in the nation, authorities were moving to diffuse outrage that encompassed the resuscitated verbal confrontation about Confederate landmarks. Duke University declared early Saturday that it had evacuated an as-of-late vandalized statue of General Robert E. Lee from the passage to its grounds sanctuary in Durham, North Carolina. I took